Examining Stilwell's evolving statements reveals insights into gang violence victim testimonies.
And I understand the state has told me they don't plan on playing it, but I don't want them to ask about the contents of it.
To be clear, Your Honor, because I think some things are getting conflated. In the first interview that Mr. Stilwell gave at the hospital, he said he didn't see anything. Second interview, he was asked to give names. He did not give any names. He didn't say anything. Again, he gave no names in the second interview. It wasn't until November 2nd when Mr. Stilwell asked on his own to speak to the investigators. He told the investigators everything that happened, and then he provided names at that juncture. There was no pressure of just give me 3 names. None of that occurred in the third interview. The state believes that that is still a party opponent statement, that he is still a party opponent in this case. This is a statement that he made to law enforcement regarding an incident that occurred to him as a victim. So, Your Honor, we still believe under the rules of evidence, it would come in as a party opponent statement. That is what we are operating under. It doesn't have to be inconsistent. It is his statement that he has previously given to law enforcement about something which he was a victim. So that is the evidentiary rule that we intend to introduce this statement under. And again, asking questions about the statement, not playing the statement.
And then do you intend to do something about him allegedly later having said what I told you in November, I no longer stand by that now, or whatever he might have said?
The state intended to ask not this detective, because this detective was unaware of the recanting. However,
I don't know what you mean by this detective.
the detective, Investigator Griffin, who was the lead detective on the homicide, he was unaware of it. However, Investigator Dennis was aware that his client, that Mr. Stilwell recanted. And so it was my intention to ask about whether or not Mr. Stilwell took that statement back subsequently. I did intend to ask that question.
Okay, and you're saying that this is all, I guess, a statement or an admission by a party opponent because you're offering it against Mr. Stilwell? And how is it against Mr. Stilwell?
Your Honor, when Mr. Stilwell was shot at, this was all a part of this gang war that we have been discussing.
Okay, I mean, do you have any evidence of that?
The individuals who were charged are members of the opposition gang.
And when did it occur?
This occurred on the early morning hours of September 26, 2015.
Has anybody been convicted?
Yes.
Okay, so members of an opposing gang were convicted of this shooting?
Yes, one individual, I believe, pled earlier this year.
Okay, and did Mr. Stilwell, when he gave the November statement, identify any of those people?
He did.
How many?
He identified 3, and I need to confirm. I know one person, Mr. Hardy, I believe is the one who took the plea earlier this year or last year.
And are those 3 people the people that ended up charged?
I know Mr. Hardy was one. I need to see if I know Mr. Hardy, Mr. Watts, and there's a third person. Mr.